Hey you guys, happy Tuesday afternoon. I'm coming to you from the school pickup line. It's part of carpool karaoke. This is school pickup line training. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about nerve because I hopped on here last week, did a training about ease, and really talked a lot about inflammation and the way the ease can benefit not just inflammation but other conditions as well. So today I want to talk to you about nerve because I think that nerve is probably one of the products that we do the least amount of training on, and it's actually a really phenomenal product. And so I want to give you some specific conditions or situations that you might not typically have thought of recommending nerve to someone in this situation. Nerve is one of my favorite products to train on because it has some really random ingredients in it that not very many people have heard of. So yes, this is a companion product to ease. I actually don't know if I'm assuming you could take nerve as a standalone product, but I just have always recommended it in conjunction with ease, because typically what happens when somebody is experiencing neuropathic pain, there is some kind of inflammation that is going on, and that inflammation is restricting blood flow to certain areas of the body, especially to the tiny blood vessels that we have in our toes and in our fingers called our capillaries. And so when you have so much inflammation going on, those areas become very inflamed. And once that blood supply is cut off, people begin to experience pain. That pain can be anything from a burning type sensation. It can be sharp, stabbing pain. It can be nerve zaps. It can be like that kind of pins and needles feeling, almost like when your foot falls asleep and you go to stand up and it feels all weird and dead. That's a lot of what nerve pain sensations can feel like, especially in your extremities. Now, for myself, y'all know that I had surgery last summer. I had a breast reduction, and once I was able to go off, I didn't need the prescription pain medications anymore. But once everything started to kind of wake back up after that surgery, I started getting a lot of these, like, it literally felt like I was being prodded with electrical shocks in the scar tissue under where they did my surgery. And so that was really when I became a dedicated taker of both ease and nerve, because literally within a couple days times the zaps were gone, a lot of the swelling and the inflammation had gone down, and I wasn't even needing like Tylenol or Advil or anything like that anymore. So let's talk about some of the ingredients that are in nerve. It does have a lot of B vitamins in it. B vitamins are especially important for circulation, blood flow, and just overall nerve health. It's very common when somebody is experiencing neuropathic pain. If a doctor will draw like a B12 level on them, often they will find out that they're deficient in B12, and once they start taking enough B12, the nerve pain goes away. So that's one of the, kind of stand out ingredients that is in nerve, and it is the methyl B12, which is what we want. We don't want the cyanocobalamin, which is the synthetic B12. We want the methylated version. Right now, this product does contain folic acid. So if you are somebody who has established your MTHFR status, this may not be the product for you. We are hoping and expecting in the future that they would hopefully reformulate this product just like they did X Factor to take the folic acid out. It also has magnesium in it, but it's a different form of magnesium than what is in BioCleanse. It's actually some people say it chelated or chelated magnesium, which means it's it's a really good form. It's a glycinate. It's very, very, very absorbable. I actually recommend this product to people who have adrenals that are struggling because the form of magnesium that is in it is very calming. It's very relaxing, and so it can be really good for people to be on, even if they're not having any kind of nerve pain. This is a great supplement to add in during seasons of stress because that magnesium will actually help to offset the high cortisol levels. Additionally, it has zinc and copper in it, and those are in the correct ratios. You always want, if you're taking one of those, you always want to take the other to make sure that you keep them in the correct ratios. But it's actually the proprietary blend. Hang on just a second, my phone just said it's going to die, and so I need to plug it in. Haha. Okay. It's the proprietary blend that I always joke, like, it sounds like if you're a Harry Potter fan, it sounds like one of the, like, you know, potions or whatever. This one also does have alpha lipoic acid in it. Slim has alpha lipoic acid in it. Alpha lipoic acid is a really good way for the body to get rid of excess heavy metals and other toxins, but it became really popular in the diabetic community about 10 years ago because once they started, people who have diabetes, it's very common for them to have neuropathy. They actually call it diabetic neuropathy. And so alpha lipoic acid, they started to prescribe alpha lipoic acid for that because they found that it eased the neuropathy. So it's got that in here. But it also has something called horse chestnut extract and butcher's broom root. And what the interesting thing about these two ingredients is that they basically help to dilate or open up blood vessels. So remember, I was talking to you a few minutes ago about how when we have especially neuropathic pain, typically inflammation is going on. That inflammation is causing swelling in those tissues, and that is causing blood flow to be restricted. Well, what these ingredients do is they help to open up those blood vessels again and help to restore blood flow. And so one of the great things about Nerve is that not only will it help people to get out of nerve pain, but some of the ingredients that are in it actually help those nerves to heal or to regenerate. So not only are they getting out of pain, they may experience regaining sensation in a part of the body where they previously didn't have a sensation. It was just numb. And that is because all of a sudden oxygen-rich blood flow is being restored to a part of the body that it previously was not. So I told you guys some things to be thinking about. I always encourage y'all when we're doing training. There's that saying, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we talk. Pay really close attention to what people are sharing with you, especially on their Facebook. I mean, obviously in face-to-face conversations, pay attention, but also what they're sharing on Facebook. Because there are conditions, I've seen several people post about struggling with things like plantar fasciitis, people who are struggling with, I have a friend who just had surgery on her feet to remove bunions, and they were wanting to put her on Lyrica, and we thought, well, hey, let's try this as an option first. Definitely any kind of post-surgical pain. People who have carpal tunnel syndrome or who have neuropathy in their hands because of repetitive stress injuries, people who had surgery, on their back or on something years ago, and they continue to struggle with post-surgical related pain, whether it's from their incisions or whatnot. Think about recommending Ease and Nerve into their regimen and tell them, listen, I want you to try this for 60 days. And with, I told you guys last week that with Ease, I really only recommend that loading dose for people who are in pain or dealing with like post-surgical inflammation or know that they have an elevated CRP level. So we want to get that brought down as quickly as possible. Nerve actually has the same loading dose recommendation with it as Ease. So it would be 2 Nerve 3 times per day. is what you would recommend, and you would say, I want you to take these 2 at this loading dose for 60 days, and I'm going to check in with you at 15 days, at 30 days, at 45 days, at 60 days. And if it works the way that it's intended to work, if it's going to work for them, then we would expect to see significant help in that condition within that time period. Now, I have a one of my neighbors. She has had all kinds of surgeries, and she's a veterinarian, and so she's on her feet all the time, and she just experiences a lot of pain from that. And she's standing on concrete floors, and so when she bought her welcome pack, she got ease and nerve as well, and she started taking them, and she saw very quickly a major reduction in her overall level of pain. She was able to stand for longer periods of time without issues. Well, then when she did her convenience order, she didn't put the nerve back in, and she started to have pain again. And her husband actually said, hey, and she was like, oh my gosh, I stopped taking that. So she added it back in. So those are just some ideas, some suggestions as you especially are trying to build your customer base, as you're looking for 2 new customers this month to help win the planner. Consider, if you know anybody that is struggling with pain, TMJ is another great one to recommend nerve for. But anybody who's struggling with some kind of pain, especially if there's a nerve component, recommend this regimen to them. Another great one, and I know this is TMI, but the 2 ingredients that I mentioned in particular, the horse chestnut extract and the butcher's broom, those are 2 supplements very commonly recommended by proctologists for people who are struggling with hemorrhoids. So if you know anybody that, and I mean, everything I've ever heard about that surgery is that it's brutal. So if you know somebody that's struggling with hemorrhoids, maybe they've just had a baby, maybe something else is going on, consider recommending this product regimen to them, okay? I hope that you guys learned a lot today. If you have any questions, just post them in the comments, and I'll try to get to them. And I will, I'm still trying to figure out how to upload the ease video to YouTube. As soon as I get that figured out, I'll get this one loaded up there too. Y'all have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.